Hi, this is Martin Barre, the guitar player with Jethro Tull and now with the Martin Barre Band, and you're listening to Rock at Night.
Yeah, are you ready? Hey, tonight I'm gonna take you on a little trip. We're going down south by the mighty Mississippi. I'm gonna take you to a place where lights never dim. Bring your mother, your brother, and your best friend. I'm gonna show you where they dance out in the street. They'll tell you all about your body heat. Not gonna talk about it, just gonna do it. Get on down, if you feel up good, now get on down.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Rock at Night. This is your correspondent Andrea, and I'm excited to have with me today a very special guest who's going to be on tour again this year with his latest band. But you may know him best from his days as the guitarist of the legendary rock band Jethro Tull. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Martin Barre. Hi Martin, how are you?
Hi Andrea.
How's it going? You've been a very busy person lately. You're starting your tour again this year, and you're going to be.
It's that sort of time of year where everything builds up. The beginning of the year is always sort of quiet in music, but very, very soon mayhem will happen, and it's just round the corner. So it's sort of everything catches up with you. There's music to be written, rehearsals to be done, travel arrangements, visas. But it all sort of it's a nice build-up. It's very, very exciting, and then the relief is when you're actually out on stage doing your first gig, and and you're doing what you're meant to be doing, and the rest is sort of you've got through it. So all sort of administration, which is incredibly boring and tedious, has been done.
Well, you're starting out in the UK, right? And then you're going to come visit us here in the US around, is it April, I believe? You're going to be starting in April here in the US?
Yeah, that's right.
Is there a difference between your fans here in the US and your fans in the UK?
I love coming to the US, and you're going to say, oh, you're only just saying that because you're talking to people in the US. But, it's where Jethro Tull sort of did their groundwork. It's the USA responsible for making Jethro Tull live all those years in music, and we had a long career, 43 years, and without American fans, that wouldn't have happened. We've got great fans all around the world, but the constant factor that held the music and the band together was touring the USA. So it's taken me 4 years to get into the USA with my band, and we finally did last year. And it was just such a great occasion, and we've done lots of shows in Europe and the UK. But I have to say, America's a special place for me.
Wow,
and
thank you.
It always will be.
Yeah,
My wife's American. My son lives in America, so we have a real connection with it as well.
Well, we do love you here. I know some of your tours, your shows were actually sold out last year.
Yes.
And you just got off the tours, and you're going to be back again on the road, and we're glad to see you. Let's talk a little bit about your album, your latest album, which is called Back to Steel. Now, it's a very bluesy album. Is that where you wanted to go with the album? Back to your blues roots?
Well, I like rock music, and it's a whole umbrella of you sort of put some adjectives on music, and they don't really mean a lot. And if somebody asks me what kind of music do you play, I say blues rock,
yes.
But it's a lot more than that, and it's not particularly the blues, but it's not particularly rock music. But but that's my background. That's my sort of roots, and so that probably is what comes out in the music. But I like to bring a lot of things to the table. I love a lot of styles, and I don't want to be restricted in what I play and the music I write. So Back to Steel has that sort of core of being rock and blues, but I hope and I think that the sort of little things that go at tangents and come back again, and I like to think that whatever a CD does, it holds the listener from the beginning to the end, and in that, if it does that, it's a success. And however you do that, then that's what you need to do.
Yes, I was listening to your album and I noticed a couple of songs. Track number 9, which is Calafell, and Sea of Vanity. They were bringing us back to a little bit of Jethro Tull days. I mean, in comparison to the other songs, those songs just stuck out to me. I was like, wow, this is going back. He's taking us back to the good old days.
Well, it's in my blood, and I don't write music with Jethro Tull in mind. There's not one day when I pick up my guitar and start writing, or even playing, when I think Jethro Tull, Jethro Tull, Jethro Tull. But it's my upbringing. So, and I was responsible for a lot of the music. The tours. I mean, there's so much of me that was in Jethro Tull that it's going to be there forever, and I always have that pedigree. But I start off with a clean slate, so when I'm writing a piece of music, I don't have an agenda, and I don't particularly want it to sound like Jethro Tull. I just want it to sound like me, and because that's what I've done for 43 years. Inevitably, there's going to be a connection.
Now, when we go on your tour, when we go see you, are we going to hear some original Jethro Tull music, or as well?
Yeah. I've always been playing it because when I started 4 years ago, I wanted to play a lot of the Tull material that hadn't been played live for a long, long time, and it was a sort of music that it was an era when Jethro Tull really took off in America. So it was the days when we were playing Teacher, Minstrel in the Gallery, the sort of really rocky side of Jethro Tull, and that got left behind towards the latter stages of Jethro Tull's career. And I thought, well, they're good songs, people really want to hear it, they're great fun to play. So it was very easy for me to pick up on those tracks, and I changed them around. So I mean, the last week I've been working on another 2 Jethro Tull songs that I'm going to bring to America, but they will be. I want to surprise the audience.
I was just going to ask, can you tell us what they are?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Guys, Eric, that's
You're
why you
come to the show.
You have to come to the show.
You've got to come and hear the show.
Exactly. And that's why, I cannot wait to see you when you come over to the Philly area. I will definitely be there that day to see you. And but let me take you back a little bit to when you first started out with Jethro Tull. I think it was 1969, and for the album Stand Up. And it was the first album to reach, was it number 1 in the UK charts?
It reached number 2.
Number 2,
annoyingly.
Okay.
Or was it? No, you're right. Maybe it was number 1. Living in the Past, the single was number 2. But
number 2.
Yeah, the album.
The album. Number 1. There's one song in that album that I love in particular, which is, I believe it's Barre. Which is an original from J.S. Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach. Were you the mastermind behind teaching everyone that song?
Well, Ian heard me playing it on the guitar.
Okay. And
it sort of gave him the idea to record it. But, I mean, I don't know, I was part of the band and we learnt it as a band and we recorded it. So yes and no, but I mean it's a flute instrumental, so it wouldn't be in my repertoire now, and probably never will be, because it's to me it's a signature tune. But if anybody else did it, it would sound like a tribute band. Okay. So it's an area that I don't go into. I go into areas where the guitar has a big part to play, or an area where the guitar can be made to be really featured. So that the music I'm looking at in the Toll catalogue is very much orientated towards the electric guitar.
Wow, very good. Now taking you back to the album "Thick as a Brick" back in 1972. That was a very conceptual album for that time. "Thick as a Brick." I'm not sure if people know it was recorded in one track. Was that? Did you guys do that for a specific reason?
Yeah, it was on one piece of tape. We did it because we recorded sequentially, and we made a commitment that as we recorded it, there was no going back and changing our mind and redoing it or swapping the order. I think it was quite an exciting way of recording music, and it was totally unnecessary, but it's pretty well unique, I think. I can't imagine that any other band recorded music that way, and I quite like that idea. I think it was a really sort of brave statement to say that we record some music on Monday, we get it right, then on Tuesday we come back in and would start again where we finished the day before. It's pretty unique, and I think it just made the music different. It made the whole album just a unique piece of work, and it made the way we looked at music. We just sort of, every day was completely fresh because we were moving on.
Wow, very, very nice. Now, if you had to pick one song from your entire career that you find yourself as making it your one song that you're very proud of, do you have a specific song?
No, I don't have a specific song, but there's lots of pieces of music that I really like. And I did an album called Away with Words, which is my sort of tribute to Jethro Tull.
I love that album. I was listening to it the other night, and it's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
One of my my favorite song on there is "At First Light." The entire album.
Thank you.
the entire album is just genius, and you used a lot of instruments on there. Were you using the flute and mandolin, and you played the instruments? You're behind all the instruments, right? Or no?
Yeah. It was really a lot of fun, and it was my sort of nod to a lot of the songs Jethro Tull recorded that weren't particularly famous, but they were just very lovely songs. But if I pick a song, I'll pick one out of the bag and say "Saucity." There's a song that I loved, and I was thinking about it the other day. I might do a rock version of it, but or maybe I won't.
Now you're saying "Away with Words" was your tribute to Jethro Tull?
Well, it was my nod towards Jethro Tull. It was the sort of meeting between my music and Jethro Tull's music, and I just thought that the Jethro Tull music had never been presented in that manner before.
Okay.
And I just think it sort of tidies up a little corner of Jethro Tull's career and history, where the lovely melodic songs are played instrumentally and hopefully, sort of in a very pleasant way. And then I've added my own music in a sympathetic manner, so there's sort of half of it's me, half of it's Jethro Tull music, and it sort of blends together. And it's a sort of summary of what I've been doing for almost 45 years.
Wow. Now, was that your first solo album? Back in, I think it was 2013. Was that the Sense Being with Jethro Tull?
Well, the first solo album I ever did was called A Trick of Memory.
Okay.
Way back, about 20 years ago. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done sort of 6 or 7 solo albums.
Okay.
But you know, when you call an album a solo album, essentially it's not a solo album unless you've written all the music. And
Okay.
I don't know what qualifies as a solo album, but and also a lot of my solo work was instrumental.
Right.
So I do an album like Stage Left, and there's only one song on it, if I remember rightly. So I've changed. Now the songs are more important, and the instrumentals are a lesser part of what I'm doing, because I'm working with a band, and the band, the vocals are obviously a vital part of what I'm doing. So I'm sort of changing what I'm looking at.
Very good. Is there anything you're listening to these days? Do you have any current favorite music that you really like today?
You know, I like the odd thing. You know, I hear a song and think, yeah, that's a really nice song, but there's so much I really, really don't like. I'm afraid to say, but you know, modern music is. I mean, there's some great singers, and there are some good songs, but it's the continuity. You know, an artist will have a couple of really good things they do, and then it's over. You know, that they've got no career.
Right, there's
continuity.
Yeah, there's no staying power anymore. You know,
they have no staying power at all. And I think if you're a musician, you know, you can't be a musician for 6 months and then retire. You're a musician for life, and that's a lifetime of work. Exactly. And that's where it really tells. You know, over a career, people judge you over many years. But yeah, I mean, I like great music. I like Derek Trucks. I like Joe Bonamassa. I like Snarky Puppy. There's and I hear things that I enjoy. But essentially, there's more that I really just don't like at all. Afraid.
Now, is there any advice you would like to give musicians today on how to have staying power and how to succeed in today's music industry, which is a lot different than what it was back a few years ago?
Yeah, well, the world's changed radically, and I'm horribly old-fashioned, and I don't embrace anything that's modern. But luckily, I've got people that help me. You know, my daughter does my Facebook. My other daughter does all my photography and the website. I'm an old-fashioned person, but then, you know, I just think that the same way that vinyl is becoming important again within the music media, then maybe I will, because I just think music's a very analog entity. Yes. You know, you can have digital music, you can have mechanical music, synthesized music, but at the end of the day, you know, somebody with a guitar and a voice is going to be the person that will transcend all these different mediums. I just think basically you've got to get up on stage and play. It's no more complicated than that, and that's what I do. I can get up on stage and I can play. I've always done it. I still do it, and I will be doing it. And it's not something you take for granted, but I think it's a special thing that there aren't that many people who play live all the time, and that's what they've done all their lives. They've got this huge history of playing an instrument live on stage, and it's like Joe Bonamassa is. He's just sort of worked years and years and years. He's improved. His songwriting's better and better. He's matured as an artist, and his strength is him up on a stage. It's a real simple formula.
Yes,
and it's great. It works.
And obviously, touring and being on stage live is part of your life, and it's something that you're going to be doing always because it's part of you.
Yeah, it's what I do. It's my job, and I love my job. I can't think of anything else, any other way of doing it. It's a tradition, it's sort of like gypsy jazz. Gypsies travelled around the world playing their music, and there was no alternative. It was in their blood. And I'm not a gypsy jazz player, but I'm sort of a nomadic blues rock guitar player.
Yes,
and always will be.
And Martin, all your fans and everyone out there will always love what you're doing. We appreciate, you giving us such amazing music all these years. And
well, that's the reward.
It's very good, and we really appreciate everything that you do. And I can't wait to see you here in the U.S. And I think I have the chance to see you maybe for 3 shows, so I'll probably be there at all your 3 shows when you come to town.
But okay.
But thank you so much.
You're listening to Rock at Night.
Thanks for the intro melody. It's called Get On Down by Billy Bass Alford. Thanks.